Goes out the window.
Does it annoy you that you're named after that great man and he's in his corner for this?
Strictly business. He's getting the bag in it, so
Tyson, just a response to people like Bellew saying this is a freak show and other people saying it's just for money.
Haters gonna hate, bitches gonna hate.
First the many.
They'll use the bitch, and so was Carl Froch.
What did you make?
Tyson Fury has finally fired damaging shots at Carl Froch after he disrespectfully abused John Fury during a live session.
Come and meet me face to face. I'll eat Froch alive and I'll eat Bellew alive. You want to come and see me? I'm here, and I'm ready, and I'm stepping back from no man.
The heavyweight champion has sealed his rematch with Usyk, but he needs a little time to deal with Carl Fr, and he did so brutally.
The Usyk fight didn't happen. You're fighting Ngannou instead of Usyk. You should be defending your title, really. You've got an obligation to the sport of heavyweight boxing as a champion. How long have you got left in the game? What, you got 2-3 more fights?
Tyson Fury is back after his loss against Alexander Usyk in the undisputed world heavyweight title fight, and his return is for another battle, well, not in boxing for now, but a verbal battle against the Fury family's longtime foe Carl Fr. And what's a verbal exchange from Tyson Fury without a promise to be beaten up? However, it's expected that this feud with Carl Froch wouldn't be another distraction from his preparation for the rematch in October, as Bob Arum had just confirmed his rematch against Alexander Usyk. Essentially, Mike Tyson's former sparring partner and friend Joe Egan had complained about Tyson Fury being too distracted before he went into the fight against Alexander Usyk. He questioned Tyson Fury's seriousness going into the fight and highlighted moments that showed the Gypsy King was never serious about the fight, as too many side attractions kept him busy instead.
It was a close fight, but it was only 50% of Tyson Fury. He wasn't fit for that fight, Carl. I don't care what anybody says. He was thinner, they were saying his weight was great. He wasn't fit. He didn't prepare properly for.
It was a close fight, but it was only 50% Tyson Fury. He wasn't fit for that fight, Carl. I don't care what anybody says. They were saying his weight was great, he wasn't fit, and he didn't prepare properly for that fight. Well, he couldn't stop talking about Tyson Fury's ill-preparedness, so he did again. There's an old saying, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. His training camp was broken up, and he was out in Dubai watching Francis and Joshua. 9 weeks before the fight, it turned out someone had been observing Tyson Fury all along, and it was Joe Egan. He went on to highlight several key moments where Tyson Fury showed NIS unseriousness in the build-up to the fight. 7 weeks before the fight, he's doing a press conference in Manchester without Usyk. Usyk didn't break his camp, and then 4 weeks before the fight, he's out visiting his family in Marup, seeing his children and stuff. There are sacrifices that you've got to make in a 12-week training camp, and he didn't make those sacrifices. Mike Tyson hasn't broken his camp for being a YouTuber. That's how serious he's taking his fight with JakePaul, but I don't think Tyson Fury took this fight seriously. I think he believed the hype. That's how serious he's taking his fight, but he wasn't able to sustain the brilliance because he wasn't fit. And then he had that other distraction, his father telling him instructions over Sugar Hill and Andy Lee, who have forgotten more about boxing than he ever will.
Very old man. He's a man of God, he's deeply religious, and I love that about him. He's proud and he stands by it. And I just don't think there's any need for Alexander Usyk to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves again in his life. What he's done as an amateur, as a cruiser.
He was initially set to duke it out with Daniel Dubois for the title in June, with the winner expected to take on Anthony Joshua in September. While the International Boxing Federation did not enforce their mandatory title defense to allow Fury versus Usyk to happen, they decided not to wait any longer. Boxing journalist Dan Raphael reported that Usyk will be forced to vacate the belt within the next 2 weeks. Raphael reported that the decision is part of the Fury versus Usyk fight contract. Hrgovic is scheduled to fight Dubois on June 1st, where the newly vacated belt is expected to be on the line. Initially, it meant a very short-lived reign as undisputed king for Usyk, as their rematch later this year was to have just 3 belts on the line should it go ahead. The World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization strapped Usyk, who was in line should it go ahead. The World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization strapped Usyk, who was the undisputed cruiserweight champion before stepping up to heavyweight, also boasts the IBO and Ring Magazine belts. He is now set to take on Fury in a pre-agreed rematch in October, which is expected to be another close fight. However, After Alexander Usyk appealed, it's been confirmed that he will no longer be losing his belt.
Rematch? Yeah, for sure, you know, we go back, have a little rest up, spend some time with our families, and we get it back on in October.
There is a rematch clause. Alexander, do we do a rematch again straight away?
Hence, he remains the undisputed world heavyweight champion until at least October, when he locks horns against Tyson Fury in the squared circle, talking about the match between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Carl Fr said with this in mind, AD President Daryl Peoples confirmed that Usyk officially requested an exception to keep his International Boxing Federation heavyweight world title for a Fury rematch rather than being stripped for not facing his mandatory challenger. Now it appears his wish has been granted after Arum confirmed that Fury has activated a rematch clause with his Ukrainian counterpart. Oik requested an exemption to keep his IBF heavyweight title, despite the fact that Croatian boxer Filip Hrgović is the mandatory challenger, in order to rematch Fury instead. According to TalkSport, Arum relayed the news before saying that the fight will take place either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. In Riyadh, Usyk went into his titanic clash with Fury, knowing that his undisputed reign could possibly last only 2 weeks, given the mandatory challenger. The threat of a short, undisputed reign and splinter of the belt was always a possibility when the original date of Usyk's clash with Fury was made. However, it was further complicated after the pair's fight was pushed forward following the injury to Fury's eye, which saw the bout move to a later date. Usyk won the World Boxing Association, International Boxing Federation, and World Boxing Organization titles in a September 2021 points win over Anthony Joshua and retained the belts in a rematch against the Brit a year later. The same night, Hrgović beat Jong to become the mandatory challenger. Now the 37-year-old wants to extend the run with all 4 belts so he can defend against the Gypsy King once again in their expected rematch later this year. Fury, meanwhile, has been handed a 1-week ban from boxing following his defeat last weekend. It has been revealed that the UAE Boxing Commission gave him a rather meaningless 1-week medical suspension, which meant that he would not have been allowed to fight until this weekend. Well, that has nothing to do with his rematch, which he'll be looking to go into in the best version of himself. But until then, the news of Alexander Usyk defeating Tyson Fury, road to his emergence as the new undisputed world heavyweight champion, will keep doing the rounds, and surprisingly, Carl Froch had seen this coming even before the fight, predicting the bout in favor of Alexander Usyk. Carl Froch held multiple super middleweight world championships, including the World Boxing Council title twice between 2008 and 2011, the International Boxing Federation title from 2012 to 2015, and the World Boxing Association title from 2013 to 2015. Carl said, "What's Usyk? He's now 37 years old, so he's slowing down, but he's got the ability to have a couple of close rounds, not lose the round, and say, 'Right, I struggled there.' He goes back to his corner and then just lays it on. He gets behind more feints, more footwork, and more aggression with the body language. He doesn't even have to throw a punch. He won't allow Fury to just lean on him and outweigh him." After the match, Carl Froch claimed Tyson Fury wasn't so bad as he performed well in a few rounds, but ultimately he was the second best man in the ring on the night. Carl Froch also blasted referee Mark Nelson and claimed Tyson Fury was really helped by the referee, and the result would have been so different if Mark Nelson had not intervened in Fury's favor. Finally, Carl Froch highlighted the embarrassing display by Tyson Fury's corner as 3 men. Sugar Hill Andy Lee and John Fury all tried to shout the instructions into his ears. John Fury was the most prominent of the 3, despite being the least experienced. He was seen speaking closely to his son's ears, trying to raise the instructions, and that's all for now. What do you think about the intense feud between Carl Froch and Tyson Fury? Let's know your thoughts in the comments section. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get alerted when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.